Thank you. And let's continue with the square root. But today we're going to have a look at something which is going to be quite more interesting. We're going to work with negative square roots. And the question is, what is the square root of negative 4? The idea, guys, of a square, guys, is to look for a number that you multiply it twice, and you get that. Okay, you get negative 4. Okay, what number, guys? Using what number can we get 4? Using the same number. What number, guys, can we get 4? By multiplying.
Two.
2 times 2. Thank you. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay,
but not
that's
negative.
correct. But we need to get negative. Okay, guys, you could, if you use one negative, okay, the other one has to be negative because it's the same quantity. This is exponents. Okay, negative 2 times negative 2 is, okay, 2 and 2 is 4. Perfect. But negative and negative, it's what, guys?
Positive 4 too.
Positive. Okay, this means that negative, guys, is not the solution. Okay, this is not the solution. Let's give it a try. Okay, let's use the other possibility. Okay, we're gonna have negative 4. That is what we're looking for negative 4. Again, in order to get 4, guys, you can use 2 times 2, right? 2 times 2. But the sign, guys, positive. We have already used negative. Okay, let's use positive. Both of them positive. Okay, positive and positive. Okay, positive and positive, guys, is positive.
Positive 4.
This is negative. Okay. Okay, again, what's going on here, guys? That's why when you plug this into your calculator, you get something like math error, or I don't know what your calculator says. But that is the thing, guys, that because of this, there is no exponent, guys, to the second power. I mean, when you raise something to the second power, it's gonna be positive always, and you're trying to get something that is negative. That's why this square root, guys, does not exist in real numbers. Okay, let's see how can we solve and tackle this down. If you remember, guys, we mentioned this, that we're going to be working with complex numbers. This is a new field, which is the biggest one, by the way, the greatest one. And we are going to introduce, guys, the idea of negative square roots. Okay, and what is that, guys? The square root of negative 1, guys, is going to be equals to this symbol, I. I is going to be equals to the square root of negative 1. And I squared is going to be equals to negative 1. I repeat, square root of negative 1 is going to be equals to I, and I squared equals to negative 1 again. Okay, basically, guys, what we're going to do is going to be pretty simple. Okay, take a look. You know, guys, that the square root of 4, what is the square root of 4, guys? Just the 4, positive.
True.
Okay, you know that we know that answer. What is the problem, guys? This negative, right? That negative is the problem, guys. I'm going to copy exactly what I got, negative, and I'm going to copy the 4. But now, guys, I'm going to be clever here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to put negative 1 here. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. Times 4. Is this the same, guys? Negative 4 times 4 times negative 1 times 4 is the same or not?
Yes.
It's the same, right? I just took the negative 1 like apart. I set it apart. Why, guys? Because we are going to be clever. Take a look what we're going to do. Okay, now that I got that, guys, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to do this. What is the square root of negative 1, guys? I'm going to separate this, okay? The square root of negative 1, because that is a property, guys, and a square root of 4. There is one property that you can separate this, okay? If they're multiplying, you can separate them. Okay, now that we got them separately, what is the square root of negative 1? I just said it. What is the square root of negative 1? You remember? That is the imaginary unit. I is equals to negative 1. Okay, instead of the square root of negative 1, guys, we're going to place what?
I.
I. Okay, this is equals to I, the imaginary unit. And what is the square root of 4, guys? You have already told me that. What is the square root of 4?
Four.
Two.
2 times 2 is 4. Okay, guys, but this is weird because I2, guys. Instead of putting I2, guys, we put the number first. Okay, it's the same, right? Commutative property, okay, 2I. And this is the answer. This is the square root of negative 4, guys, is 2I. I. Again, the idea, guys, is to separate the negative 1 square. And you substitute negative 1 square is equals to I. Okay, let's have a look at this. Again, if you plug this into your calculator, what you're gonna get is math error. That's not possible, but we know that, guys, we are getting into a new world in the mathematics, and that is the complex number. So where we have solutions. Okay, for this one. Okay, first of all, what is the square root of negative 20? 20, guys. Is there any number you multiply twice and get 20? 3 times 3, 9. 4 times 4, 16. 5 times 5, 25. There is no perfect square for this one. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to use the prime factorization. Okay, we're going to break this number down. 20. We're going to break it down using the prime numbers. We use 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, let's start off using 2. Okay, what is the half of 20?
10,
10. What is the half of 10?
5,
5. Thank you. And what is the half of 5? We don't have
We don't
5.
have, will be the fifth part.
We can use 3? No. We have to
Five.
use what number?
5,
Thank you. We have to use 5. Okay, we use 5. And what is the fifth part of 5?
1.
1. Excellent. Okay, guys, then again, Mr. What we have to do, exactly what we did yesterday. Okay, this is a square root. We got a 2 here. So we have to make group of 2 numbers, okay? Okay, you said, Mr. I can make a group here. 2 is equals to 2 square.
2 square.
And 5 is alone. You leave it like that, okay? 5 is alone. Okay, let's rewrite all of these, guys, all over. Okay, square root of this. Okay, square root of what? This negative, do you remember the idea, guys, is to separate the negative because you can substitute. Okay, that negative what? Okay, you only put a 1. Negative 1 times 20 is negative 20. It's the same. Negative 1 times what? And 20, guys, is equals to what? It's equals to 2 square times what?
5.
Times 5. Thank you. Times 5. And then, again, take a look. That 2 square is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And negative 1, guys, is the same. You only take this negative, like you set it apart. You isolate them. You isolate it. So you have it alone. Okay, then, guys, let's try to substitute. Okay, let's start off by working with it. We are going to separate this. We're going to separate this, okay? A square root of negative 1. Okay, we can separate. We can separate this, a square root of 2. Okay, we want to use blue. Square root of 2. And then we can use a square root of what? The other one, the last one. Square root of 5. Okay, we can separate it. Maybe, guys, in the next class, we're going to skip some step. But now, just to show you every single step. What is the square root of negative 1? What is the square root of negative
1,
I. Sorry.
the I.
I, correct. These, guys, the square root of negative 1 is the imaginary unit. It's I. Thank you. And what is the square root of 2 squared?
2,
What can we do, guys, when we have the same exponent and the same index?
We can cancel.
Excellent. We can cancel this, and we're going to get only 2. Okay. And what is the square root of 5? This is a decimal, guys. This is 1 and this is 2. They're different. We can't cancel. We leave it like that. Okay. A square root of 5. And this is the answer. But in this case, guys, that looks a little bit in disorder. What we're going to do for this particular case is we are going to put it in order. The I, guys, is going to be in the center. I is going to be in the center. The square root is going to be at the end. And the number alone, like normal numbers, is going to be at the beginning. That is the answer. 2i square root of 5. I repeat, the I is going to be at the center. The square roots are going to be at the end. And the numbers, normal numbers, are going to be at the beginning. And that is the answer, 2i square root of 5. Perfect. Let's have a look at this. The square root of negative 100. Your calculators, guys, cannot solve this. It's going to throw you an answer saying math error. However, we can do that, okay? Let's have a look at this. What is the problem? Okay, square root of negative 100. Okay, let's rewrite this, guys. Let's rewrite this. And instead of putting, guys, negative 100 like that, we are going to rewrite this like, okay? Do you remember the thing? What is pissing you off, guys, is this negative because the square root of 100, you know that is 10, right? So we're going to put a negative 1 here, okay? Okay, we're going to put negative 1 here times what? Times 100. Exactly the same, okay? Take a look. Negative 1 times 100 is negative 100. It's the same. The idea, guys, is to separate the negative 1 square. Okay, let's separate this. There is a property that you can separate this. Negative 1 here times a square root of 100. Okay, I'm doing, guys, a step by step. You can skip 2 steps here. Okay, what is the square root of negative 1, guys?
I.
Is I, correct, is I. And what is the square root of 100?
10.
10.
10, okay, because 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, and that is the answer, 10, 9. I remind you that the numbers go first, I goes in the second position, and the square root at the end, but in this case, we don't get any square root. All right, let's have a look at tricky one. This is a square root of negative 294. Again, guys, don't shy away just because of this negative. Okay, the thing is that you need to break this number down, because if you think about that, 10 times 10, 11 times 11, 12 times 12, etc., you're never gonna get this number, guys. Okay, you need to break the number down. Okay, let's take this number and we're gonna break it down. 294. Okay, I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna break it down, and let's start off by using the second. Okay, the 2. What is the half of 294, guys?
147.
147. Thank you. And what is the half of 147? Guys, it's easy. If this number is not even, si no es par, like this 7 is an odd number in par, so you cannot use 2, okay? Let's move on to 3. Okay, let's see if we can use the third part. What is it? What is it, guys? 147 divided by 3. What is that
49.
equals? 20?
49.
49. Okay, thank you. 49. That's perfect. 49. Okay. Can we use, guys, the third part again? Is 49 in the
No.
multiplication table of 3?
No.
Okay, 5. We cannot use 5. Okay, the next number is going to be the 7. The seventh part. What is the seventh part of 49? 7 times, can you
7.
get 49?
7.
7, right? Okay, then now let's use the seventh part again, and that is going to be 1, right? You follow me, right? Then, guys, we have to make groups according to this index. This index, guys, even though you don't see it, it's gonna be 2. Okay, let's make group of 2. Okay, as you can see, we only have 2 sevens here, and that's the one we're gonna make. Okay, 7 and 7, guys, we're gonna group then. That's gonna be 7 squared, right? 7, 7 is 7 squared. And these four guys, they are long. We are going to multiply them because all of them are multiplying. 2 times 3 is
6.
6. Okay, just like that. When they're alone, guys, you multiply them. If you can make group of 2, you put them together. Okay, let's move on. Okay, it's time to continue. Okay, we are going to rewrite this expression. Okay, we are going to rewrite this expression like this. Okay, the negative 1, remember, guys, the negative 1, you need to put it apart. You need to put it alone. Okay, negative 1 here. Okay, and then let's rewrite this part, the yellow. Negative 294. 294 is equals to this. 7 squared. Okay, let's put it. 7 squared times 7 squared times what, guys?
6.
6.
Times 6. Okay, let's simplify this. Okay, then, guys, we are going to separate this. Okay, we know that this is a square root. Okay, okay, you can separate this, guys. A square root of negative 1, a square root of negative 7, a square root of 6. If you want to be a little bit lazy. So we're gonna be lazy in this case. Okay, let's work with this, guys. We're not going to recopy that. Let's work separately. Okay, what is this equals to, guys? A square root
I.
of negative 1.
I.
I.
That is I. Okay, that is I. What is the square root? What is this, guys? What is this equals to,
7.
guys? This and the 7. 7
7.
is
The 7.
square root. We can what?
Cancel.
We can cancel because we have the same index and the same exponent, okay? That 7 is gonna be out, okay, because of the property. And 6, guys, can we take 6 out of
We'll
the
leave it.
radical symbol?
We'll leave it like that.
We leave it like that. We leave it with the symbol because it got just 6. Okay, 6 to the first power square root. And this is exactly what Lewis told us. That is the answer, 7i square root of 6. Let's have a look at this one. Square root of negative 12 times square root of negative 3. Again, Mister, I have two expressions here, so I don't know. I don't know what to do. I got stuck. Guys, come on, man up. You can do it. Okay, work separately. We're going to take this and we are going to forget about this one. Okay, solve that guy separately. What is the square root of negative 12? Okay, let's work separately. Okay, 12, let's break it down. The half of 12 is 6. The half of 6 is 3. And then we have to use the third part of 3 is 1. Okay, we're gonna make group of 2, guys. 2, 2. Okay, 2, 2, guys, is 2 squared. Okay, we got it. Okay, let's rewrite this. Okay, we are going to rewrite this. Square root of. Okay, the negative. Okay, what are we gonna do with the negative, guys?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Okay, we are going to separate it. Okay, negative 1. That's supposed to be a 1. Negative 1 times 12. What is 12 equals to? We just factor it. 12 is equals to 2 squared times
3.
times 3. Okay, times 3. Okay, excellent. And just like that, guys. Okay, you just simplify this. Okay, let's get down just a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna be working just with this one, just with the first one. Okay, we got this one. But now you can simplify this too, guys. You can simplify that one. Okay, this one is gonna be, I'm gonna use a different color. Let me see if I can get a new color here. The purple one, okay. Let me see if I can get, okay, I'm gonna work with this, guys. I'm gonna work with this one. It looks like a blue still. So let me use another one, another one, another one. Okay, this one. I like this one better. Okay. Okay, we're gonna use this one. Okay, what is the square root of negative 3, guys? Okay, we're gonna use the same idea. We are going to separate that, okay? This, and we are going to take the negative 1, guys, out. The negative 1. And what is the square root of 3, guys? 3, guys, we cannot factor it. It's already factored, right? Because 3 times 1 is 3. It's a prime number. That's the only way to write 3. Okay, we copied 3. Okay, this is what we got so far. This is what we got so far. Then let's work separately again. What is the square root of negative 1, guys?
I.
Okay, it's I. Okay, that is I. Okay, it's I. And what is the square root of 2 squared?
2. We cancel the square.
Okay, we can cancel this because since we have the same one, right? Okay, we're gonna put 2 here, guys. This 2, guys, is gonna be out. The 3, guys, is gonna be inside, right, of the radical symbol. Okay, square root of 3. Okay, then, guys, let's multiply this. Multiplying this. What is the square root of I? Well, sorry, I'm saying the answer. What is the square root of negative 1?
I.
It's I here. And a
But
square root
here
of
we'll
3,
leave it like
guys,
that.
we
We'll leave
leave it
it.
like that. Correct. A square root of 3, guys, we leave it like that. Okay. A square root of 3. Okay. A square root of 3, guys, I cannot cancel it because this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, I leave it like that. Okay, okay. Now, guys, this point means they're multiplying. It means they're multiplying, guys. They're multiplying. Okay, let's do that, guys. 2 times what number do we have here, guys? 2 times 1, right? Okay, if you multiply this and this, guys, 2 times 1 is 2. Then let's multiply. I times I. What is I times I equals 2, guys? You copy the base, and what do you do with the exponents? I, and I is I
To the second power.
to the
3.
second power, correct? I squared. And then it's square root of 3 and a square root of 3. Okay, what is a square root of 3 times a square root of 3, guys? Square is 3, square root of 3 to the second power 2, okay? Because you're repeating this, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is a square root of 3 to the second power. Okay, I told you this was going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, let's rewrite this. 2, I'm going to rewrite it. And I squared. What is I squared equals to? I is equals to a square root of -1. However, I squared is equals to -1. I squared is equals to negative. Okay, I squared is equals to -1. Okay, instead of I squared, we're gonna put -1. And these guys, what is the square root of 3 raised to the second power? What does the property say? If you have the same exponent and the same index, you cancel. Okay, that 3 guys is gonna be out too. That 3 is gonna be out. And all of these guys is just a multiplication. Multiply that and tell me what is the answer. 2 times 1 times 3 is 6. Negative, right? 2 times -1 is -2. -2 times 3 is -6. All of that, guys, is equals to -6.